Hi everybody and welcome to the SA Soccer Show. I'm MoneyMan, Kevin Ferguson, Money Boy, Oliver Keohane. Ollie, love the cap. What train are you driving?
All of them.
Does it work with the ladies?
No, unfortunately not.
Let's get into, how was last week?
Look, last week was a good week for both of us. Better week for you because you are laying down bigger amounts than I am. But, we were both 6 from 10 in our predictions, which I think if you look at the nature of the Premier League, to be getting above a 50% on such an evenly stacked league is good. So I think we're finally starting to see some bit of a form guide, like you said in your wrap. It's like 10th week into the Premier League. The results that you think should happen are sort of starting to take shape. So, yeah, good weekend, 6 from 10, and both of us sort of cashed out just before Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest. Both made some good money on our returns, and made some good returns on our money. Without being greedy. Yeah. I think that's something you're always trying to promote.
Yeah, I think that the question. I mean, a lot of people would have said, okay, you either win 24,000 because I had an accumulator that was going to pay. I think with bonuses, booster bonuses, about 21,000.
Yeah,
it was 19 to 1, but with the boost, 21,000. I put 1,000 down on that and had needed an Aston Villa win. So I look at it this way, whereas poor gamblers will look at it the way they'll say, okay, it's either 1,000 or 21,000. I can only lose 1,000. No, that's where you're getting it wrong. You've actually got a cash out option of 8,000 Rand available to you. So you've got to ask yourself the question, would you bet 8,000 Rand to win 21,000 on an Aston Villa win? And my answer to that was no, I wouldn't. So the question for me then becomes, do I cash out? And obviously I did. And I told people that before I cashed out. And for those out there that keep telling me to post my bets, and rudely, you don't even have to say, please, guys, piss off. I don't work for you. I do this out of a hobby and to create content. Stop asking me to post stop telling me to post my bets. Go somewhere else if you want that shit.
Well, I think the irony is that your bets were posted too. So
3 days.
For people to remember is those the MoneyMan SA Facebook page. Yeah. They do go up on there.
Yeah. So if you guys aren't going to pay attention to all the content going up there, then do yourselves a favor and go somewhere else. But we do have a good community,
Yeah.
And I do like doing this for a select few. Let's get into the EPL. We've got a competitive week of football ahead of us, and I'm going to throw out an 8-team accumulator that's going to pay off 48 to 1.
An 18.
8 team.
Oh.
18.
It's like there's not even 18.
Yeah, games. No, there's an 8-team accumulator, well thought out.
Okay.
It's a Hail Mary.
All right.
So it's got to be thrown the right distance and caught spectacularly, but stranger things have happened. Let's get into Brentford versus Brighton.
Unless the bookies know something that I don't.
They usually do.
I think that the odds on offer for Brighton are really solid. 2.30 on Sporting Bet. I'm not sure what you've got on WSB. Granted, they are playing away against Brentford, but Brighton have been good this season, and they haven't faltered too much since Graham Potter's exit.
They lost to Tottenham last week.
Yeah, but I mean Tottenham have been
good form. Yeah, third place.
Been a good side, So yeah, I mean I like Brighton to beat Brentford.
Yeah,
I'm going to say 2-1 to Brighton.
Yeah, look, the bookies have also got that this game is pretty tight to bet. 27 to 20 on an away win, 12 to 5 on a draw, and 21 to 10. So it's very close betting on all three possible outcomes.
Yeah.
Brighton haven't looked too bad under their caretaker manager, but I see this being. I see a lot of goals. I mean, Brentford have scored, I think, 10 goals in their 3 Premier League games at home.
Yeah.
So I like the 2-2 draw on this match.
Okay. And both teams to score.
And my heart goes out to 24-year-old Enoch Mwepu, who's forced to retire with a medical condition. Good player for Brighton. So I know that their heads will be thinking about him as well, you know?
Yeah.
So sad. So 2-2, and you're 2-1 Brighton.
I'm 2-1 Brighton, yeah.
Leicester, bottom of the table. Leicester, you would have never believed that at the beginning of the season, 10 games into the season.
Yeah.
That we'd just be saying that. 10, rooted to the bottom, Leicester versus Crystal Palace.
Again, you know, these odds are fairly evenly stacked. You got, 2-1 on Leicester, 3-1 on Crystal Palace away.
That's a good bet, 3-1.
3-1, yeah. If you're going to follow any sort of form guide,
Yeah.
you got to go Crystal Palace win. How much do you read into Leicester's drubbing of
Bournemouth?
Was it Bournemouth? The 4-1. Was it not Nottingham Forest?
Oh, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Who cares?
Okay. Nevertheless, you can't discount a home form. Not home form, but just like home advantage. I'm going to go for a draw here. I'm going to say 2-2.
Yeah. I like, I think the Crystal Palace are very unlucky in terms of some of the results they've got. They've certainly deserved better, but you only get what you deserve as well.
Yeah, it's like when people say, the score wasn't a reflection of the game. It's like, well, it ended.
Yeah.
It ended as such, so maybe it was,
Leicester, this could be another mini nail in a coffin, as far as I'm concerned. If they don't, they have to get the win, and I think that Brendan Rodgers, who's been asked to resign by the fans, it's not a great atmosphere. The problem with these games is unless Leicester get out of the gates well, then the fans are going to start turning very quickly.
Yeah.
And we're going to get the boos and songs, in the crowd very much against Leicester. So this could almost turn into a home game for Crystal Palace, and I like them to win this game 2-1.
Okay.
Next up, Fulham versus Bournemouth.
This is a bet I'm going to be taking. 1.87 on Fulham.
Yeah.
At home. Mitrovic is basically a goal a game. Not too much more to be said there. I think Fulham win this one 3-1.
Yeah, I've got Bournemouth. I've got it a tight game, 1-0 Fulham, but I still think Fulham win. At the Cottage, great atmosphere, great place to watch a football match.
Yeah,
if you ever get the chance. I don't see Bournemouth. I think that they perform better under caretaker manager Gary O'Neill. He's been as interim manager. I think the form is they're undefeated in the last 5 games or 4 games.
Fulham.
Yeah, no, Bournemouth. So you've got to. They're certainly doing better than all the pundits have said they were.
Yeah, for sure.
And when you got Scott Parker just before he was sacked saying they needed more players, it's funny how he needed more players, but Gary O'Neill's come in and shored up a team that was after a 9-0 drubbing to Liverpool.
Yeah,
was on the list. How many of these games are we going to see?
Yeah, it makes you think with Leicester, if it's they're hanging so dearly onto Brendan Rodgers, is what sort of difference could a new manager make at this juncture in the season? It's still early enough to turn around their fortunes, considering at the bottom of the table.
Well, again, Leicester didn't go out in the transfer market. They were sellers this year. I don't think they made any positive transfers, and they were sellers. And with the exception of Madison, for some reason Vardy seems out of favour.
Yeah.
And as he went, so did Leicester in the past. And there are rumours, that Madison will be sold in the transfer window when it opens up. So I don't see a bright future for Leicester. It seems like that there's something going on there that below the surface. So Fulham, I'm picking Fulham to win 1-0. You're picking to win 3-1.
3-1.
Next up we have Wolves versus Nottingham, another bottom dweller.
Yeah, what an inspiring match. 18th versus 19th.
Yeah.
Wolves still heavily favoured. Probably a little bit of historical favouring going on there.
Well, 8-11. 4-1 on Forest. Yeah, it's a pretty strong favourite. The thing is, I thought there'd be more value with the bookies because Wolves have since they sacked Bruno Laga, they've lost 3 games. But when you look at those games, they've been to West Ham, Man City, and Chelsea.
Yeah.
So it hasn't exactly been an easy schedule for them. I think West Ham is starting to find a bit of form and will continue to find form. They're a better team than they're a better team than they've shown so far. But Nottingham, again, buying 20 players and trying to get that brew, that flavour right in a team is turning out to be a bridge too far for their manager. And he may well be the next guy to be fired. You know, that's the funny thing about
I think they've signed him on.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Oh, good for him.
They've committed to him. So.
Yeah. You know, one of the kiss of deaths for any manager is when someone says they're committed to him.
Yeah,
I know a few NHL coaches that were signed extensions only to be fired 2 weeks later. So.
So what are you thinking? I mean, for me, it's quite evenly stacked here. I'm going to go 1-1.
No, I like Wolves to win comfortably 2-0.
Okay.
No.
We're not so far in agreement
no agreement
this week.
Then I think we might be in agreement on this one. We've got Tottenham versus Everton.
Yeah, look, Tottenham have been impressive in the Champions League. They've been impressive in the Premier League. They're just kind of getting the job done, you know. A good win over Brighton, and Everton, a little bit of a shambles.
Yeah, they're the first team to beat Brighton away this year. So good for them. Conte's doing a great job. Kane's having a good season, 8 goals. Yep. You know, in any other season, he'd be probably top of the Golden Boot. Unfortunately, we have a Haaland, an Eric Haaland there that's got 15 goals, the man machine.
Yeah. I think, straight win, 3-1 for Spurs here.
I've got a 2-0 win for Spurs. I think Everton have looked a little bit tidier since Frank Lampard has instilled some of his managerial talent. Especially, he should be managing teams that don't have the budgets of a Chelsea, and Everton certainly don't. But I don't see them getting a result against Tottenham. Tottenham are too good and should cut them open for a 2-0 win.
Right.
And we've got another manager next under fire. Stevie G, Aston Villa take on Chelsea.
Stevie G, not the man to beat. Yeah. Poor to not win against Nottingham Forest.
Yep.
You know, it's like when we led up to the weekend and we put that in our multi-bet.
Yeah.
You know, it's thinking they should win. Kind of cashed out given the stakes that were at play. But you would expect Aston Villa to beat Nottingham Forest, you know, and to draw 1-1. You know, I mean, how many games has Aston Villa won this season? It's not very many. They've won 2 games out of the 9 this season, which just isn't good enough. You know, there was a lot of expectation. A lot of expectation.
Yeah.
So Steven Gerrard, not so much a honeymoon at Villa since he's moved over. And Chelsea have looked good. Potter seems to have slipped into life in Stamford Bridge fairly seamlessly. I mean, he's got a.
You see the change in fashion though.
Yeah.
He wears a tracksuit in Brighton, and he looks like he's on the Milan runway. And I'm sure we'll get a picture up there for the guys to compare pre-Chelsea days with Brighton and how he looked then, how he looks now. So he seems to be growing into the role in every way possible, including the fashion and embracing the big club culture.
Given Villa have won 2 matches, given Chelsea have been in.
No, he's had over 2 weeks to be with that team as well now. And certainly answering questions. The performance in the Champions League was pretty good.
Yeah, look, I mean, Chelsea are not, and they haven't been for the last couple of years, teams that, put teams away, but they're winning.
They'll find a way to beat.
By 1 goal, by 2 goals, they win most of their matches. And I like Chelsea to go there and get a 2-0 win.
I've got Chelsea to win 2-1.
Okay.
Next up, my team, Leeds United versus Arsenal. And I've bet against my team all year long because I just think there's something going to come undone. But, they were very unlucky to lose 2-1 last weekend.
Yeah.
They looked the better team for most of the game. They press well. They're fit. They're fit as a butcher's dog. But they're playing an Arsenal team that has a similar style, and I think that Arsenal will beat Leeds 3-1 away.
We agree on something.
We got it?
Yeah,
We're in
3-1. 3-1.
Yeah, it should. Look, I don't mind when I'm wrong on my team, but if I had to bet on the game, it's 3-1. Man United versus Newcastle. Now, the odds on Newcastle are almost 3-1.
I've got 3.5 over here.
3.5. Nice. I guess the big question is on Isak's fitness, and that to me is tough. If he's fit, I think Newcastle win this game.
Score?
3-1 Newcastle.
3-1.
Yeah.
At Old Trafford.
At Old Trafford.
I'm going with a 2-2 draw.
Okay.
But I'm going to put some money down on Newcastle to win because those odds are...
Because you have to.
Because you have to.
Exactly. You don't have to explain it. You have to. Southampton, in the Who Cares game of the week, it's Southampton versus West Ham. Really, who cares? I mean, you got a Man United Newcastle, Leeds Arsenal, and to finish off a Liverpool City, and then you got Southampton versus West Ham. It's like someone giving you one of those hors d'oeuvres that have dried up and been shriveled for years on the side for an appetizer. It's like, come on. Southampton, who cares?
2-1 West Ham.
2-1 West Ham, we agree again. I've got that.
Nice. Look, Sunday's looking...
And then the main course, the buffet.
On Tuesday, would it have been Wednesday night, when Liverpool played Rangers and was 1-1 at half-time. And I was outside doing some work on the balcony with my dad, and then we came in, we were chatting. It was
Your dad doesn't work, come on.
night hours.
Yeah.
7-1 Liverpool, and I messaged my friend Dill, who has been a diehard Liverpool supporter since since he was a child, and I haven't actually seen Dill.
What's that, for 10 years, 20 years?
I haven't seen Dill for about 2 months, and some of it may have something to do with the fact that Liverpool continue to not impress. My dad's always asking after him, so I sent him a message. I said, "Yo, this is quite something." He said, "So these fuckers give us hope, and then Haaland gives us 5." So.
Yeah, it's tough being a Liverpool fan. I've enjoyed watching Liverpool when Leeds weren't in the Premier League. My brother in Wales is a big Liverpool fan, and he doesn't speak to me anymore. So I don't know whether this is a condition that affects all Liverpool fans, where they can't reach out and phone their brother or say hi when their team's doing shit. So I'm hoping that Liverpool win this game, because it'd be nice to speak to my brother. But at the same time, after a couple drinks, he can get, so my brother can be quite vociferous when he gets going. Liverpool, something, I just feel that they're going to throw a spanner into the works in this game. I just feel it.
I hope so.
And I got to go with my gut feel. I think that Liverpool are going to pox a win, 3-2. I think there's going to be a lot of goals in the game.
Yeah, I agree.
I know Liverpool are going to give up at least 2. So they need to score 3. And I think that Salah, who started to show a little bit of the Salah of old.
When they brought him on in a position where he can actually have impact, I think that's such a key. Klopp even said it afterwards. They were interviewing him, and he said, well, different position, and it's true. He's been playing outside. He's been playing far more right than he was ever playing in last season's system, to accommodate a new formation. And look, as well as I think, Nunez played well on Wednesday, but when they put Salah just a little bit further in, fastest hat-trick in Premier League history, So you also got to look at what a player's strengths is, and he's not a guy that plays all around the field. He's a guy that needs to be close to the goal.
Fully agree. I mean, what amazes me is such a brilliant coach like Klopp, manager as Klopp is, how he gets that wrong. He gets that wrong because he got it wrong the previous year as well.
Yeah.
In terms of Liverpool, but injuries force a team to do different things, and doesn't have to explain his coaching decisions to me.
Yeah.
He certainly has earned his right to tell me to go. Where to go. But it's going to be a wonderful game. I think that it's nice to see these type of rivalries start to create. This to me is better than Liverpool Man United.
Yeah.
From the point of view that it's if you're gonna because Liverpool, for all intents and purposes, have been counted out of the Premier League this year. They're so far behind. But you'd start getting some people, hemming and hawing if Liverpool to win, and you see, for example, Arsenal go 4 points ahead.
Yeah.
Because how real are what are the credentials that Arsenal are throwing down? 24 out of 27 points, which is pretty damn good. You've got them passing every test that's put up to them in the Premier League. And this is going to mean
Look, they do. I think the interesting conversation here is that, you've seen this before from an Arsenal, from a Spurs side and stuff. And I think
we haven't seen this from an Arsenal side in many years.
No, not in many years. But I think, you actually want to almost reserve judgment until the end of the season, until Arsenal is concretely...
We're not in the reserving judgment business. What do you mean? Oh, come on.
I'm saying if you want to speak about this, look, it depends on the conversation you want to have. Is, are they pretenders or contenders? If you're talking about for this season's title, everything points towards them being contenders. In the greater context of the game, you're going to need to see is like, if they end up faltering at the final hurdle, then they won't. So I think, I suppose it's different conversations that I'm having here of like.
And I suppose it depends on in which part of the UK you're asking those questions. For everybody's just seen it. We've seen it many times. Even saw it with Leeds one Christmas in 1994, where they were atop of the Premier League table under David O'Leary at Christmas time. And he always played it down, rightfully so, because they qualified for the Champions League, but they didn't come close to winning the Premier League.
Yeah.
But these are the conversations that create column inches, which create clicks, which serves ads, and so on and so forth. So,
look, just from the perspective of like, everyone we spoke about at the start of the season is like the Premier League we both said there would be more parity. But we both said that it's like the Premier League has become, given Pep's budget, Man City's league where Liverpool has to be the team to push them. And I think, as frustrating as it is for a Liverpool supporter to see how they've played this season, it's nice to see that it hasn't just been the City show in terms of league points. You've got Arsenal up there.
Yeah.
And that's still going to be, that's on Pep's mind. Do you know what I mean? It's not like he is drastically running away with it. They've been steaming through teams, but there's Arsenal, And it's great. It's good for the game.
It's great for the game. I mean, the last thing we want is a runaway leader in the Premier League. But do you see Man City losing a game this year?
No.
I do. I just see this. It could be this weekend. Let's hope so.
Sorry, dude, losing this year.
Season, yeah.
The season, yeah. No, I definitely see them dropping a game this season. It's probably going to be to some random team as well, but I don't think it's going to be this weekend. As much as I want to back my guys, I think. I think they are still, like you said last week, City can be a little bit shaky at the back sometimes. So I think Liverpool will score, and I think they will compete within that first 60 minutes, but I think City run away with it 4-2.
Okay. 2-1 my pick for Liverpool.
I said 3-2.
Oh, 3-2. I did say 3-2, so I was looking at another score. Good luck this weekend. Hope
Thanks,
I get 6 from 10.
Do you want to let us know your 8-team accumulator that you've got here?
Yeah, I could do that. My 8-team accumulator pays 48-1, 500 down plus the bonus, pays 24,382 rand. No, I'm not showing you my betting slip. Brentford, plus 0.5 corners, 9-10, which means that I'm saying that they're going to finish ahead in the corner battle. Brentford average 3 more corners per game at home than Brighton, who average about 2 corners a game on the road. So that stood out. Crystal Palace, more yellow cards at 17-20. There's a big disparity there in those two teams. Fulham 9-10 to win. Wolves 8-11. Chelsea 5-6. Spurs 5-10, and Arsenal 4-7. I'm putting 500 rand down. It pays back 24,382. That's my Hail Mary for this week. My pick 8.
Sweet. I'll be following that.
Yeah, thank you. Any bets that stand out for you?
Really like Fulham at home at 1.87, so I think I may lump a little bit of money on that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be checking, and I'll put it up on my Twitter. I just want to have a look at the corner stats in the Man City-Liverpool game, because because I think that there could be good value on over corners there.
Yeah. Be careful. Check the head-to-head.
Yeah, because the only thing is the way that City are playing at the moment down the middle with Haaland.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'll pop that up later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to have a bit more of a look before the game and sort of suss things out. There's nothing that really leaps out to me as much as last weekend did, aside from that Fulham bet, which I think is a really sound one. But I'll be following your multi because that paid off for me nicely, and I'll pop up one of my own on Saturday morning.
Yeah, I'll be. Look, if you want to see all my correspondence and everything else, go to www.moneymansa.com. That's where, or .co.za. And that's where I post everything.
Yeah. Or the MoneyMan SA Twitter or the MoneyMan SA Facebook page.
I like Wolves. I like Fulham. I like Chelsea.
Yeah.
There's some good games to get stuck into this weekend, so I'll post those before kickoff, an hour or two before kickoff.
I mean, that's the thing is you've always got to see the lineup, especially when soccer it's not released on the Tuesday like rugby. It's it's an hour before. So
yeah, there can be changes 10 minutes before.
Yeah.
But you get an idea, unless someone's heard in training then. But good luck this weekend, all.
Thanks, Kev.
And go get them.